Okay, load the model. And then it goes grey. Now I was unsure about this, but if it's in grey like this, it means that the model's too big for the bed. That's what Cura is indicating. But if you look at this, there is a small gap there on this side. It's quite hard for me to rotate this model using my touchpad, but you see that there is room around this model. Now one thing we can do, if we not bothered about the sizes, is change the scale. This does all the sizes. Now you see how it's changed to yellow there. I notice that now it is going to start, well, sort of giving an estimate of the time and things like that up here, whereas if I go back to my one setting, it does not show the estimated times or anything up here. Let me get out of this and come back in. So when I load it, sort of default settings, it shows in grey, and it's not going to print out no estimated times up here. I cannot create the G code, I don't think. If I go and save G code like that, nothing happens. Now obviously I can go in the machine settings. Here are my actual print bed settings, 245 by 200 by 200. I can, and I would say this is a temporary, sorry. So workaround, I just want to show you this. Now this does not work. I'll show you what happens if I do this. Well, it works to a certain extent, but see how it comes in yellow now, because I made the build sort of area bigger, so it's going to fit on. But what I want to show you is if I move this model over, and I did try moving this model over because it wasn't printing out in the right position. See there, see if I move it somewhere near the edge, this edge, it goes in grey. Let's move it over that way. Let's try moving it over this right hand edge, and see it goes in grey, so it's not going to print out like that. So there must be some sort of safety margin built into Cura, and it looks like it's about 5mm there. I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I haven't done a definitive test. Now I've been digging about online, and apparently there is a workaround. I'm going to show you that just now, but see how in a way I've made the bed bigger, and it's going to give an estimated time here. Okay, I've reloaded Cura, and I've got the settings there because I've changed the bed size here. See, I've changed them to here, so it would fit. But what we need to do, the workaround, what somebody says online, is change both the settings to 421. So you need to change this and change this setting also to 421. Obviously this is a temporary thing, and then we need to tick this box here, machine center 00. Make sure that's clicked. Click OK. Click on the part, and we need to move the part to its maximum XY position. Well, presumably they mean when it's in yellow, when they're saying this. So I'm going to try getting this positioned here, so that's still in yellow. If we move it too far, it's going to come in grey. I like to wait a bit for it to do its calculations before I do anything. So this is approximately a 17-hour print. I could like modify the file to make it smaller, but I quite like the look of how this, well, in the design anyway, it looks like it's going to be quite a nice fan shroud when it's finished. So this is a 230 by 200 fan, bit fennec, I think the term is. There we are. And now I can go to save G code. So I'm going to save G code onto my SD card and print this out. Right, this is with those fixed settings. Let's see how well this looks like it's going to print out. I have to watch these catches here. It should be okay because it's like it's more circular, it's not like a square. That skirt seems to be going, oh, it's borderline going left there, very borderline. It's actually touching against the end stop. But this is a skirt which is like outside of the actual where the print's going to be. And that seems to be within the area of the print bed. Try and take you in for a bit of a closer look just now. I'll come round here a bit first. I think I'm asking for 2 skirts if I remember correctly. one of my lights off there. So we can see it's a bit on the left hand side of this print bed, but it is within the range of the print bed. Interesting noises. Plenty of filament on my spool, by the way. This is a new spool basically, it's only just been opened recently. No brand name on this spool, just cheap stuff off eBay. Black PLA, 1.75, 200 on the nozzle, 60 on this heat bed, printing onto a PEI sheet that was never ever laid down properly by me. Few bumps in it. It'll be interesting to see how well this comes out. You can see some of the, if you look at the reflections of the smooth rods there, see how much the reflections are getting distorted by the bumps in the PEI sheet. Right, it's 2 hours 10 minutes near enough into this print. Seems to be going well. These lines are really much thicker than what I thought here. So there's not much gap between those lines for any air to get through, at least in this outside edge. More gaps in the middle there. This is for finger guard for fan bit fennec 230 by 200, a big, actually it's for this one over here, one that's on here. I'm sick of catching my fingers on it. This is my first iteration of this, so it might be wrong, well, of the print that is. This is just a cardboard box. It's got a carbon filter behind this 230 by 200 bit fennec fan. It's got another, I think it's a 120mm high pressure fan in here. I don't want to show you that. And it's got this, it's hard to show you this, but it's got this other vacuum cleaner HEPA filter on the back of that. So the air gets sucked in there, goes out the back. So it's going through a carbon filter just in here, just behind the fan, and also going through the HEPA filter at the back. Now this does give a bit of forward pressure, even with these two fans in it. This is powered off a 5V USB, that's the way I just want to do it at the moment, wall wart. And it's got a 12V boost converter, it does have a switch on. So that's just to try and filter out any particles from the 3D printing. So basically I'm sick of catching my fingers on here, and I thought I'll print out this fan finger guard. So as you see, these are too thick, they're too wide I should say. So there's not going to really let a lot of air between those gaps. I mean, as I get closer inside, the gaps are getting wider. I think I'll just leave this because I want to see how well it comes out after it's finished. There's a big fan unit, that bit Fennec. It's 230 by 200. This is, well, leaving up the maximum of my physical bed size that I can print on. So the physical bed size is 245 by 200. And this is using the workaround I'm just been showing you. But notice that is a bit over the left, and it certainly has cut a little bit off this edge. I would estimate about 3mm or so off this edge. It's been like chopped off. That's a very straight line there. It should be curving around a bit more. It should be a couple more millimeters over towards the back. And notice a gap here. But it's printing out reasonably well. Apart from, this is supposed to have like bolt hole fastenings on this, and I would have expected those to start printing by now. Yes, the other fan for the part that's blowing around this fan shroud is actually on now. I can see it's on. I put a line of Tipex on the actual fans because putting a line of Tipex helps me realise that they are turning. It seems to be going quite well apart from those things. Really I should stop it and redesign this, because you know, it's waiting 16 hours and I know it's going to come out well, want redesigning in a way, another iteration. Wait 16 hours, 17 hours, leaving enough for print, and still want, oh yes, and it should also have lines going across to support these structures, so I don't know what's happening there. I'm just going to leave it and we'll see how it goes, because without it printing out, I don't know if I can really tell. That's one thing about rapid prototyping, quote marks, rapid prototyping, 16 hours, 17 hours to do a print, rapid. Well, it's quicker than sending it off to injection moulding, and it is only prototyping. This is one of the ideas behind prototyping, is to print it out, see how well it fits, see if the measurements are right, see if the design is as you want, etc, etc. And if it's not, then you can change it and then do another print. It's making quite a nice sound, this printer. Every so often I seem to hear a click, and I don't think it's not the extruder, it's something else. I don't know what it is. It's like as if the wires or something are catching. I don't know. But I hear it. I'm going to have to listen to it and try and figure out where that's coming from. Show you the display. Have to turn the lights off for this. At least some of the lights. So 200 on the nozzle, 60 on the heat bed. Fan is at 100%. That's a fan that's blowing on the part. This is working okay now. 100% feed rate. 2 hours 17 minutes into this print. And as you can see on the bar graph sort of here, we've got quite a bit to go. probably another 14 hours or so. I'm using a no brand filament, a cheap filament off eBay here, black PLA 1.75. And the lamps up there. So basically this is like a finger guard for this big fan, bit fennec. And I'll probably come back after this is finished actually, almost definitely. There we are, it's finished. 16 hours 44 on the display. Here's a link about this display. Well, the container, it's adjustable stand, so you can tilt it and such like to an angle if you want, well, within reason. Looks okay, apart from possibly some curling on this front edge. Might be able to see how this sheet of paper goes. Actually goes quite a bit under there. Maybe a little bit on, yeah. So there's some on that side, I think. Yeah. Very easy. Got some a bit of weight to it. This is just the skirt, I think. Just pull off some of the skirt. It's quite strong. I mean, I wouldn't want to put under a lot of force, I don't think, but it feels quite strong. The only things that are holding the rings together are these big four, well, in a way, two slats there. Actually those gaps there don't look too bad when I look at it now. I was worried that these might be a bit close together because they're quite thick, these, that it might prevent too much airflow. Yes, quite good. Now let's see how well it's going to fit on. Show you the back first, as I can. As I say, this PEI sheet that's on this printer was never put down properly by me. It does have bumps in. On some objects I think that's reflected by it's a little bit smoother in some parts on the bottom than in others. It's absolutely flat down here when I look at it with my eyes. So yeah, there's a bit of a like almost cut out there. That's not in the design. It's because that edge was needed a front edge and it's been cut off, so the whole model should have been moved back a bit in relation to the heat bed if that was possible. I was using that trick. Well, if I go from the supports to the supports, 210 millimeters there, near enough. Maybe 212 actually. That's in old money just over 8 1/4. That is 210. $195, say. Look at the thickness here, and 15 millimeters. About half an inch, just over half an inch in all money. Okay, I've moved this over just to see, so I can show you. Let's see if this looks like it's going to even fit. See, will the bottom of this, any chance of the bottom of this catching this fan? Let's spin by hand. I think that's going to be okay. Just fail. I was going off this drawing which I got off bit fennick of, and it's got like the whole distance 114.29, while that 165.13 cleanly marked out. This must be a different fan because this has a lot more holes around the outside here. If there's any measurements like that on here. And there's 154.